Dedicated to the great outdoors, it's Southern Woods and Waters with Hugh McNaughton. Southern Woods and Waters is brought to you by Gander Mountain, Greenform Construction, the Burns Insurance Group, Cunningham Buick GMC, Nashville Marine, America's Motorsports, and now here's Hugh.
All right, welcome everyone. I'm Hugh McNaughton.
And I'm Brandon Dowdy.
And we are?
Southern Woods and Waters.
Are we still?
This week.
This week.
We still are this week.
We still are. Hey, we got a lot going on.
We do. There's a lot coming up in that outdoor world.
Behind us.
He followed us all the way here.
He did. I'm telling you, Hurricane Harvey is wearing everybody out. 5.5 inches. I told you, 5.5 inches got dropped in Nashville in just one spot in an hour. That's a lot of running.
That can cause a mess real fast.
Cause a mess. And before we get started, a lot of Tennesseans, and I'm so proud to be a Tennessean too, but a lot of Tennesseans headed to Texas.
They did.
They actually, did you see all that?
I've seen all different groups. Yeah, boats everywhere.
Boats everywhere.
You know, Tennessee Deer Hunters, they had a group that went down.
Yeah.
They had some packages put together that Wes Stone and Randall Haley, Sid Herring, several guys were in on.
Well, they've already gone, but then there's another truck leaving tomorrow, too.
I believe so, from Taylor's Archery, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of people, and I would just like to publicly come out and say that Brandon and I with Southern Woods and Waters are proud of all of those fine volunteers we have in Tennessee.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you got an issue with this or an issue with that or a Confederate flag or an American flag. It doesn't matter.
We'll be there to help you.
When it comes down to the emergency,
yep, we'll be there to help you.
Aside.
You know, that's right. And it's, you know, it's a shame it takes something like this, but the good side of it, something like this happens, is to see people come together. And in the sportsman world, that seems to happen real quick.
Well, my Bible tells me there's a silver lining in everything.
That's right.
So you just got to look for it.
That's right.
The silver lining is Tennesseans live up to the word volunteers.
Yeah.
So Texas is proud. You helped us out during the Alamo. You're helping us out during the Harvey. so great job, Tennesseans. And hey, we got a lot of going on this week. Saturday? Oh, no.
Tomorrow, dove season. Tomorrow at noon, dove season opens.
Dove season opens.
For those that are going to be after them, goose season opens.
In the morning?
In the morning. So
you can actually hunt geese in the morning.
Yeah, you can hunt geese in the morning.
You thought I was going to say gooses, didn't you?
Gooses. Well, you can hunt gooses too. I think they're legal right now too.
But you can hunt geese in the morning and then take off and dove in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And
I know several guys that'll be doing that.
And you can get barbecued something.
Just have a big cookout tomorrow night.
As you can see, we got decoys everywhere. We're trying to show off a little bit about dove season, and this is another great opportunity. Would you not agree, Brandon, to get the youth involved? You
know, just like a lot of people, I started out squirrel hunting, but dove hunting as well. I mean, I was the best dove dog in Wilson County for years, you know, and but it's a great way to get kids out and just sit around and have a good time.
It's something else. It's a community event. You don't have to be quiet. You can yell at your neighbor.
If they're too young to shoot.
Oh my gosh, you missed that one.
Yeah.
Want any more shells?
Yeah, and you know, if they're too young to shoot, bring them anyway. Yeah. You know, bring them out and let them have a big time experience.
I mean, this is short. I went to a dove field one time when I was filming, and there was this older gentleman, and he brought his grandson, and they sat in a corralled part of a pen by a barn. Well, we had doves flying everywhere around us, and then all of a sudden they just stopped, and it was like a big lull, and I'm sitting there with the camera, and nothing's happening. It's getting hot. All of a sudden, this one bird comes across, and somebody hollered, "Bird!" Well, this little boy jumped up, and he's got a little 410, and his granddaddy jumped up, and he's got a 12 gauge, and it's boom, boom, bang, bang, bang. Well, the bird landed on the other side of the barn. Well, I'm freaking out because it wasn't a dove, and so the older gentleman goes, "That's my bird." And his little grandson, "No, it's not, Grandpa. It's my bird." And they fought back and forth till they got all the way around the barn. And I watched them. And the grandfather looks down at the bird and goes, "You're right, son. It's yours."
Probably a killdeer or something.
I'm not going to say, and I don't know who they were.
You don't know who they were, or where it happened, or anything about it.
It was funny that that here's two.
Yeah.
And on him, and I'm gonna take it. Take it from him, and then
he changed his mind real
changed
quick.
his mind when he saw what it was. So you see all kinds of things out there in the dove field, and just it's a great opportunity to invite your friends, neighbors.
A lot of good food. I mean, a lot of good food gets eaten standing around a dove field. I know tomorrow, where I'll be heading in the morning. You know, I talked to him today. I said, "Well, how's the shooting going to be?" He said, "I don't know, but the eating's going to be real good."
Eating's going to be good.
So, you know, if nothing else, we're going to eat good and have a big time.
I do want to say one thing though. I want people to understand and do this, please, and that is wear some kind of protective eyewear. Because you are looking up most of the time, and if somebody happens to be shooting one from that way, you can get lead drops that will fall down, and everybody calls it peppering. You know, you peppered me, but it's just part of the shoot. I mean, it's just part. Nobody's trying to intentionally shoot anybody, but if you wear either sunglasses or safety glasses, you'll come back a whole lot happier. I promise. You
will. It's easier to look up in that sky looking for those birds with them on anyway.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow you might want some clear ones. If you've got some clear ones, you might want to wear the clear ones tomorrow.
Having a big umbrella too.
Yeah, big umbrella and some rubber boots. You know.
Yeah, you're gonna need it.
You know, another thing too that, and I'm guilty of the same thing. A lot of people are. But when we get out there, say you go shoot skeet and trap tomorrow, first thing you're going to do is put your earplugs in.
Yeah.
And you go sit down on dove field and shoot, you know, 4 or 5 boxes of shells and see people that are not putting them in. And I've gotten over the last couple of years where I try to make sure I've got some earplugs with me too.
I'm going to have to watch you, Brandon, because, you know, if, and I go,
hey, yeah, that's
I don't want
okay.
you to go, what?
Don't worry about me.
Low bird? What?
I won't shoot at a low one either way, I promise.
But you know, it's great to just get out there. Hey, tonight we're going to talk about, we talked a little bit about dove hunting, but what we're mainly going to talk about in segment 2 and 3 is big hype. Does Tennessee want to go to a 1 buck limit?
We've had more people. I don't know what got it stirred up, but
I think West Stone did
it. You know, we've had more people send us messages and things like that, asking, or more so telling, you know, here's my thoughts on this, here's my thoughts on that.
Yep.
It seems to be a pretty hot going topic right now.
Should we even bring up the one about should coon hunters be allowed to?
No, we'll try to make sure we're still Southern Woods and Waters next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, they'll run us out of here. We talk too much about the coon hunt.
The other thing I want to talk about is several people on Facebook and everywhere has been asking about EHD, epizootic hemorrhagic disease, and yes. There's not a year that I know of, and I've gone out with Daryl Radijak, and I've done surveys and things like that. There's never been a year that I know of that it didn't affect Tennessee deer somewhere.
It's always been there. You hear about it more now. You got social media. You got guys taking pictures on their phone, and so, you know, the information gets around a lot better now. I believe it was somewhere in the mid to late 1950s was the first recorded outbreak, and I'm sure there were some before that, you know, that weren't. But point being, this isn't something that's new. It's something that's always been here. Some years you're going to see more of it than others. This year has seemed to be a little more predominant than others, but at the same time, it's something that always happens.
When was it that we lost so many? I mean, that was it?
I remember that happening, but I don't remember the year. 07, 08, 09, somewhere around there.
I think it was before the flood, the big flood of 2010.
And we had a pretty big loss then. There were some places that took a licking.
Dixon County, really, the game wardens there told me they lost like 30% of the herd.
Well, Land Between the Lakes, they took a good licking in that same outbreak.
And that's another thing too, Brandon. We even saw where we were going to Land Between the Lakes, and you'd see 80, 90 deer at night, and then all of a sudden you drive through there and see 3, 4.
Yeah, they took it pretty bad. Now it's recovered well.
Oh yeah, it's recovered.
You know, it has recovered well, and most areas have.
But don't you
naturally,
think that's
it'll bounce
nature's
back.
way of going, I need to put this in check just a little bit.
In a way, it is. I mean, it's not going to.
Hendersonville's probably praying for EHD right now. I mean,
it's nothing that's going to decimate our population or cause. You know, there may be some pockets that. Right, exactly. It's happened for years. Sometimes you'll get a big outbreak in one kind of small area, so a particular hunter or two may be affected in those areas as far as this season goes. But statewide, it's not going to be anything that we notice a big difference on our population.
Some other things we'd like to bring up tonight, and just to let you know about some of those. I want to ask Brandon the question, and he's got a pretty good answer. But I've even noticed that TWRA has been sending out little memos and videos about not baiting. And the main reason is slash disease transferal. And okay, I can understand some of that, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you, Brent. I can take some of that. But you're supposed to have your bait, and a lot of people use feeders throughout the year when they're not hunting, just to help sustain the herd and keep them, in a place and keep them healthy. They do that 8 months out of a year.
Yeah.
Come on now. EHD usually happens before the season.
Most of the time,
during the hot summer.
Each EHD outbreaks are going to be somewhere in that mid to late summer, most of the time. So it does happen then. And we'll get back to this in later segments. But
is the necessary evil tool here.
Not necessarily. It can be, but it's just like anything. We can get more into that.
We'll get more into it. Hey, we got to take a break in just a minute, but we want to hype on our Facebook page.
Yeah, Facebook's been rocking. I mean, people have been messaging, sending us pictures. Keep the pictures coming in, but especially with deer season coming up, keep us informed. Let us know what you're seeing. We got a lot of guys heading to Kentucky already this coming weekend. Those lucky dogs, man, they got it just right this weekend. But anyhow,
we've already had the drawing for elk and all that. Got 15 people doing that. And also, have you seen all the pictures of piebald deer this year?
There's been several. There have. Yeah,
so keep the pictures coming in, ladies and gentlemen, and check us out at Southern Woods and Waters, our Facebook page, Southern Woods and Waters. We'd be glad to answer any question you might have. It may take us an hour or two, but we'll get you the answer.
We stay pretty covered up, but we'll get to you as quick as we can.
So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about, do you think Tennessee needs to go to a 1 buck limit? We'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters.